Hi, so I'm Kirsty and I'm going to be your trainer and assessor for today. Before we start though, I'd just like to go through some just work health and safety, just evacuation procedures. So if there was any case of a fire or an incident within the centre, then the exit is just over to the back corner and we'll walk straight out into the garden area and out from the gates, obviously away from the fire.
Okay.
Anything else is like, I'm obviously a qualified first aider, so if anything was to happen to any of you today, then I will obviously take care of you. And if anything was to happen to myself, your manager Sophie in the office has informed me that she is also first aid qualified. Apart from that, nothing else should really go wrong. Obviously, we'll be very safe today. Hi, so I'm Kirsty and I'm going to be your trainer and assessor for this two-part assessment. So the first bit's going to be obviously on nappy changing. Just a bit of background into myself. I've been an early childhood teacher previously to being a training and assessor. I was in the field for about 9 years, worked mainly with like a 0 to 2 room, and then moved, I've also done stuff with the older children as well, but also have a lot of background in changing lots of nappies, so I hope I can be a bit of assistance to you today. Obviously you're all in the trainee role, so I know you've changed the odd nappy between you, but I know you haven't done much on like big nappy changes and just the general hygiene and infection around it, and just making sure that you're changing them properly and so that we're providing like care for the children. Okay, so first I think we're going to go through just your centre's policies and procedures, just so you know what your centre is expecting of you. So I've got these for you all. They're only quite short policies, so if you want to have a little read through them. So there's just two there. The first one obviously is just the guidelines to the nappy changing, and the other one is the actual procedure. Don't worry about taking in everything about the procedure right now, because obviously we're going to go through that throughout the night. The main objectives that we're obviously getting out of tonight is going to be how to professionally change the nappy of the child and how to respect the child. All those policies you read there. All good?
Yes.
Yeah. You can keep them ones just for future reference. So first, I just want to show you this first. We're going to go back onto it, so I'm going to take it off you. We've got a little task for you later to play with, but I just want to show you these. So this is what your centre has in every room. It's the changing a nappy without spreading germs, but it's just actually the guide to how, like the steps you're meant to take when changing a nappy. So obviously washing hands is a big factor in there, and obviously you have to wash the children's hands as well. That's a step that lots of people forget about, because obviously they're thinking about themselves changing the nappy, but obviously the child, as you'll find, likes to touch the poo and around themselves, and it's just good hygiene and practice when they're toileting. So obviously once we've taken the child to the toilet, you always go and wash their hands, but so the nappy procedure we try to get that in there early. Okay. Is everyone ready? I'm just going to take that away from you.
Focus.
Do you a little task under there? Are you all ready? Thank you very much. So before I start going through the infection control and hazards that can happen throughout the nappy changing, has anyone got any questions or problems that they've faced doing nappy changing so far? Or would you like me just to go through the infection control? Yeah, infection control. So obviously this is quite a big document, so I'm not going to sit here and read through it all with you, because you'll get very bored. But this is mainly the document, and I'll leave this for a copy with you all afterwards, so you can have a read at your leisure. It's like basically just around what causes infections. Obviously when we're changing a nappy, we are dealing with faeces a lot of the time. So you need to make sure that you're not spreading germs from one area to another, making sure you're washing that child's hands so they're not then going and spreading it along to their friends. This just covers what causes infection, but the main thing I wanted to look at with this is how germs are spread and the chain of infection. So this is a little diagram. I'll just pass it around so you can all have a look at it first. So there's 3 main steps to it all, and germs can be stopped being spread at any stage of that. It doesn't have to have gone the cycle for us to stop it. You can stop germ spreading at any stage. So obviously the first one, the germ has a source. So this we call the germ, obviously the soil's nappy. The germ spreads from the source. So if you're not taking your gloves off, or you're not using an open lidded bin, when you've put the nappy into that bin, you're going to spread germs from, even if you think you've got the clean gloves, like you haven't got anything on you, you're still spreading germs onto that bin. And then the germ infects another person, so then your colleague comes along, opens the bin to maybe put some food rubbish or some general waste into the bin, and then they've got their germs on their hands. So obviously the germ has a source. That can be stopped straight away by getting rid of that source on a bin, what's it called? A lid-free bin, that's what I'm trying to say. And then you've stopped it at step one. So that's the main goal of tonight, so you can all stop that and let anyone else in your room know, so you can pick up on other people. If they're spreading it, you can maybe give them a little reminder or have this up in your room. The other way germs can be spread is obviously the obvious ones. These aren't complete to do nappy changing, so I'll just go over them briefly. But it's obviously coughing and sneezing, breathing contaminated air, which is from the coughing and sneezing. Obviously all the rooms at your centre have air cons in them, and they do allow germs to fester, and they obviously circulate in the room. So trying to open the windows, especially when you're doing nappies, if it's suitable. Obviously if it's weather conditions, it's a bit too cold, we don't want to freeze the children, but if you can get fresh air into the room as much as possible, that helps a lot. Direct contact, animals and food. So your children probably won't be put into contact with too many animals, but obviously the food sources, and especially at the younger age where we are doing nappies, they have a lot of things in their mouth. They like things in their mouth, they like every toy in the room in their mouth. So making sure when you're on the nappy change, if you can just clean everything down. Or if they've brought something up with them, say they've brought like their favourite car, make sure you give it a quick disinfect and wash it off, and then at least you're stopping that germ from spreading further around the room. So this is just, there's actually a section in here specifically for how can diseases spread in education and care services. So I'll let you all have a little read through that when we've finished, and the rest is just on mainly ways to prevent infection and effective hand hygiene. So I'm going to go into a bit of exactly how to wash your hands when we've done. I might do it now actually before the hazard control, as well on the situation of germs. But this is just a little diagram of a little hand showing you how many different ways, I'll let you pass it on quickly, hand germs can be spread to different people and in different situations. So obviously touching animals, and then they've gone outside to play with their friends and they're running around, and they've got another car, and hugging the parents at the end of the day. Good. So yeah, so you get all one of these packs when you leave. So, how to wash hands. So you wash your hands before you do a nappy change. You wash the children's hands throughout. The children's hand wash won't be as intense as this, obviously, because they are still laid on the mat. So I'll show you how to do that when we're up there. And then you also have to wash your hands after the nappy change as well. So this is the procedure you'll be taking. So wet hands with running water, preferably warm. Always add soap. So we try to use like hands-free dispensers, and we don't try to use the bars of soap just because obviously they fester with germs. Lather with soap and rub your hands thoroughly. Palm to palm, so obviously rub it between, and then back of the hands, in between your fingers and thumbs and fingers. So we're making sure that when we're actually rubbing the soap in, we are rubbing it on all surfaces of our hands. Rinse hands with water. You dry your hands thoroughly, and then your hands are clean. Like that little diagram. I'll leave that, when we're going to do the nappy change, I'll leave that up there so you can have a little look, as well as the procedures. So. So now, I don't need to choose this. Now we're going to do just any hazards. So, nappy changing. Obviously, we've got some stairs here. Most childcare centres will always have some stairs. And then also always lock into place as well. Yeah. I think that was incorporate. So So they always lock into place because we don't want the children sliding in and out of the cupboard. That's not the desired effect. So while I've just got that there, obviously you put that down when you're about to change the nappy. That's just for the child to access, if they're able to walk up the steps. Can anyone think of any hazards that might occur when changing a nappy? Not that you can't be wrong. If you think it's a hazard, it can obviously be.
Falling off.
Yeah, falling off the stairs, the change mat.
Yeah.
Both. Both is good, tripping. Just before we move on, what do you think we could do to prevent the child falling off the stairs and the change mat?
With like holding one hand on them, or
Yeah.
putting a hand on them on a change table?
Yeah, never. So one of the biggest rule when changing a nappy is to never leave the child unattended at the change mat. If you've forgotten to stack your resources up, so you haven't got any nappies left, or you've run out of gloves or wipes, and you're stuck there with a child, you can't leave that child. Obviously, there's going to be someone else in the room, there's going to be someone you can call. It's quite an open census, there's always someone you can call to get you something. If you have to move that child because there isn't anyone about, just leave their nappy on, because always make sure you've got all your resources before you start. Leave their nappy on, bring them back down off the change table, get the resources you need, and then put them back on again. Because if they fall off, obviously it is at quite a height, because it's at a safe height for us, so we're not bending over and hurting our backs. Which is quite a long way for a child to fall, and they probably will do some quite serious damage. Yeah, another hazard anyone can think of? That was a really good one, that was the main one, so. That's quite a hard one. So if they bring toys up onto the change table, obviously consider, or if they're eating, it's kind of the same one like a choking. If it's only a small toy and they're putting it in and out of their mouth, obviously they're laid down. So make sure that if they've brought something up, maybe get them to put it at the side, or you've taken it off them and just shown them. I know some children will get distressed because they're in the middle of playing maybe a nappy change time, and they don't want to leave their favourite car because they just had to wait 10 minutes for their turn of that car, and then you're going to make them leave that car. So I always offer them to bring it up to the change table, and we just put it like to the side, just so then, especially if it's something small, they can't choke on it. And obviously food, I just let them finish that food before. They might have done a poo, but obviously yes, that's a health and safety, trying to get their poo changed for them, but at the same time we don't want them to choke in the process and make the whole situation a bit traumatic for them. Another hazard is very similar to the falling off one, but if you've got someone who's a bit distressed getting their nappy changed and they're riling about and you're trying to obviously steady them, you don't want them to fall off the mat, we don't want, not that you put too much pressure on them, but we don't want you to be having to restrain them and they're injuring themselves, so you can always get someone else to come and help you. It's okay to ask for help. Children sometimes are terrible for their parents and they don't want their nappy changed, and the parents are always amazed how they just lay down at kindy and get their nappy changed. So yeah, always ask for some help. If you need someone just to distract them for a minute, maybe they have a key educator in the room, if they're not quite used to yourselves yet, always get them to come over. And if you need to swap with someone else to do that nappy, that's fine. Obviously just make sure the child hasn't been left unattended at any time. As we go through, when you're doing the nappy change, we'll see if you can think of any more hazards. But so far, that's about it. Oh, the only thing I was going to mention is the chemicals that you obviously use. So when you're washing down the mat after a nappy change, make sure that you use the soap and water. They're all really well labelled at this centre, so they're all, it says like exactly what's in the bottles. If you're not sure if a bottle is unlabelled, please check with someone what is in it, or best practice would be just to discard it and make sure you've personally filled up some soap and water and maybe write a label on it with the date, just so you know that that's what it is in there. The disinfectant is up there of course, but we try not to use the disinfectant on the nappy change table, because obviously if you put it on directly then another child's laying on it afterwards, it's going to irritate their skin, and it's not great for children to have direct contact with disinfectant even if it is diluted. That's up there mainly for more vomit situations and floor spills and yes, more bodily fluids that may occur on the floor. So now I've got a little challenge for you to do. I will just get some paper. Can I just move these to the side? You're going to need a little bit of room. I'll just put it there for you. And I've each got you an envelope. You can obviously help each other out with this, but if you try and do it by yourself, that would be better. Here's a bit, don't worry about getting it wrong, maybe do it to begin with, and then you can go through at the end and see what your final results were. So I've got your piece of paper, so sorry, put it underneath just so it doesn't stand out for you. There we are. So these bullet points are actually, this is why I took this off you, it's actually this nappy changing sheet, so it's changing a nappy without spreading germs. So I'd like you to try and challenge yourselves to put them in order. So if you can do this, you are basically there to be able to change a nappy because it's quite an extensive list. If you need any help, I could come over and give you a little hand. So I will say just before you think I've tried to trick you by taking one out, there isn't actually one that says put the nappy back on the child. That's just not actually on that list, but obviously that is part of the nappy changing process to put one back on.
Oh my goodness. So many.
It is, I know, that's why I took them back off you. I was giving a brief. I just want you to see what your idea of changing a nappy is, like how you would do it personally.
Pick up child.
There may be one that says just lay it down on the mat or there.
Yeah.
Let me have a little. You're all doing a very good job. No, I'm watching you all. Don't worry, I'm not judging anyone. There we go. How are you all going with that?
Very well.
Feel free to take drinks and have some little mini snacks throughout. Are you all enjoying your roles as trainees so far? Is it what you thought it would be? A bit more challenging?
Yeah.
A lot more tiring than you think?
Definitely.
Good. Have any of you got younger siblings? Is that how you got into it? Or did you just want to come and have a caring for children, just a bit of a passion?
Got a few young
siblings. So you sort of knew what you were in for already?
Probably it's just explored what could be there. Maybe go out and sport.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
That's right.
I can't go down
You're looking like you're about there somewhere.
Oh my god.
I'm going to be stressed if I've not got
Same.
I know.
Not concentrate.
So you can refer for each other now. You've basically all got a line going on now, so
Yeah.
feel free to confer with each other and just see where everyone else is placed.
Swap.
And I will read out the end because I know you all
What have you got first? Wash your hands.
Yes.
Place paper on the change table.
I didn't have
always wear
one.
gloves.
Yeah, same. I always wear gloves.
Oh, see, this is why it doesn't matter if you've got the wrong way around, because at the same time, you'll always be wearing gloves. If you place the paper down before you put gloves on, that's fine. If you put your gloves on, the one on the sheet is place paper on the change table.
That's right, I'm not like
But you should always wear your gloves, so that's what I'm not too worried if you've got those two the wrong way around. That's because it's, yeah, you'll be doing them both at similar times.
And then always wear gloves when changing a nappy.
Yes. And then it's
Remove the
child's nappy and put it in a hands-free lid bin. So I'll just show you
What about the
step.
clothes?
Oh, that's like.
Do you need to remove the clothes before you remove the nappy? Don't you have to take the clothes off the floor?
I just thought they meant like there's weed on them, so you just like, oh, get the weed.
Yeah, see, this is another one that could go around. So if you've obviously got soiled trousers that you can remove before you've done the nappy and things, then you would obviously do it. But if you've had to take the nappy off to try and...
If it's like all up their back.
Yeah, if it's all at their back, you've obviously taken the nappy off. But I suppose it depends where
I
the
thought it
floor
meant
is.
that's like to get to the nappy, they have clothes on.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's more for toilet trainers, I suppose, that you're maybe thinking. So when you're doing the lovely conversation we have now, a really loose, maybe overly full nappy, a lot of children it will go quite up their back. So you can actually obviously take the trousers off. It might not have actually gone onto their trousers at all, or there might only be skid marks to say on the trousers. So this is a lovely conversation. Take them off. Also, you place them. You don't place them into the hands-free lid bin. So make sure you've got. I think your centre uses little disposable like nappy bags, or this if you've just got a little bin bag to hand. Put them in to there. Also check with the other members in the room what their parents are happy with doing. If they're really bad, some parents might want you to throw them out. Other parents would like them to be sent home quite pooey. So just check. It's an each parent thing. So just check with them. But like I was saying with the up the back thing, you can actually change the nappy, get all the poo away, and then change the top of him to get the rest.
Check with them before you wash the undies out all day long as well.
Yes.
And then
Yes, that would be good.
and tell you if you just check them.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Before you
"Oh,
do
it's
lots of
not."
did you have lots of underpants to change
I
today?
did. He had 6 changes.
Well, you're good at doing
Very
everything.
unsure.
Right, so next, sorry, so
So
Remove
what's the
child's
child's
nappy in the bin.
yeah, sorry, I was going to show you what the bin. So obviously, this is a handle, so this doesn't count as the hands-free bin. So before you change your nappy, open the door, and then we'll put. Obviously, there is no lid on the bin, so you can easily take the nappy off and plop it into the bin. I'm just going to close these stairs. Later if you wish. So yeah, so I keep the bin open whilst I'm changing the nappy. So if I need some more wipes, I can keep putting them into the bin. If you have lots of children in the room and they particularly want to be at the bin, maybe just let one of your trainers know. Sorry, not trainers, your team members know. Just to maybe be around this area to watch, because you don't want to be having to touch any of this if you've got dirty hands, really. And obviously they're always locked as well. Oh,
That's really expensive.
right, next. Nobody's wrong, alright.
I did it before.
Never.
Ready? So the next one, so like you said, is remove any clothes with urine or faeces on them. Clean the child's bottom. So we always do that from front to back.
I don't have that baby.
You don't have your own? Is it still in your pocket?
No.
Oh, I'm very sorry about that. Where did that one go?
No. I will put it there.
Oh, well, very sorry. I don't know where that one's flown off to. So obviously clean the child's bottom. So like I was saying, front to back, you might have to do that several times. Make sure you're moving all parts necessary to get all of the feces or just urine away. Make sure you give them a good wipe. And always use, once you've wiped once, put that wipe in the bin and then get a new wipe to wipe them. We don't want to be folding it and maybe rubbing more feces over them than necessary. So next is remove the paper and put it in the hands-free bin. So if you've been doing a soiled nappy, that paper might have feces on it as well, especially if it's a up the back situation. So obviously just put that in the hands-free bin. Does anyone know what might come next? So we just put we've cleaned. Right. So did you all have the remove your gloves, peeling them back from your wrists and inside out you go and put them in the gloves bin. So obviously the reason we peel them back, if you're taking them off like this, the other glove you will then have to touch with a clean bare hand to take off. We obviously then dress the child, yes, with no gloves on, just because then we're keeping the clothes nice and clean. Wash and dry the child's hands. So this is a bit what I was on about where we're not going to obviously take them right over to, we do have a little basin over there.
But you've got to take them on.
So what did you think was next?
You've got to take them away from the change table to get them to the sink.
See, this is why we're saying we don't have to do the big change on them. So you can clean their hands just on the change table. So you can just have either some washes or the disinfectant wipes, the baby wipes, and you can just wash down their hands. If they're a little bit older and they want to, and you have plenty of time, it is better practice to obviously bring them back down the stairs or lift them down safely. take them over to the sink and wash their hands, like go through the process with them. Obviously, if we're on about like 0 to maybe 12, 14 months, if they're not walking, obviously walking them downstairs, you having to carry them over to the sink, they're not going to be able to stand up at the sink. So that's why we put that one there, just to wash their hands at the table. Obviously, yeah, as soon as they start walking, it's great practice to take them over to the sink and start washing their hands. So next week, take the child away from the change table. Do we all have that? So now the child is away from the change table. So obviously when you've finished changing the child, don't just plonk them back on the floor. Like, bye, you're done, leave them there. They will probably just congregate around your feet, and you'll have, by the end of your nappy change, if you have 12 children in the room, you're going to have 12 children maybe congregating around your feet, because that's where you've left them, especially if they're non-walkers. So it's best practice to always take them either back to the activity they were already engaging in, or maybe you could engage them in a new experience. Just make sure they're happy, especially if you're one of their key educators, or maybe just one of their favourite carers of the day. They might want to stay and have a cuddle with you. Unfortunately, obviously, at the nappy change time, normally has like set times for each person to do nappy changes, or if even just poo, but you need to get back into ratio. You can't just stand with that child having a nice little 15-minute, 20-minute cuddle, having a play. It would be lovely if we had time for that in childcare, but as you all know, it's quite a lot of routine going on. So as long as you get them back engaged in another activity, make sure they're happy, and then move on to the next child. What I did forget to mention when we're doing this, obviously this is more about making sure we're not spreading germs and all things like that. But when the child's actually on the nappy change mat, that's your time where you can have a bit of one-on-one time with them. Obviously if you are in a big room, I know this room has 16 children in it, so you don't get much one-on-one time. There will be those smaller group times you get, but you can have one-on-one time with each child doing that. While you're changing the nappy, you can have a little conversation with them. They might not respond much, but even just having a laugh and a smile with them. I know that a few of the rooms are making little mobiles, over the top of them. So you can engage them with that and just, have a little fun. So that was it. Are you all pretty confident?
Wash your hands.
Yes. So, sorry, I didn't even finish it off. Yeah, so once you've removed the child from the changing room, changing area, you then need to go back and clean the change table with the detergent and the warm water. So that's what I was on about. So the label bottles, obviously again, make sure you're using the right one. We wash it down with the paper hand towels, and again put them into the bin. This time, obviously, you can open the handle with your hand, and that's clean. And then make sure at the very end that you wash your hands using the hand wash procedure. There we go. Using this hand wash procedure that we went through earlier. So there will be quite a lot of hand washing, so if you need to have a little moisturise afterwards and things. And we also have hand sanitizer as well, so you can use that throughout the day. Changes, but also make sure you've always washed your hands. Okay, do you all feel pretty confident and ready to meet Sarah?
Yes.
So, this is baby Sarah, and this is who will be doing your nappy change today. Obviously, I know you've all had with real babies, but I thought it wouldn't be very fair if we had a baby who had to have their nappy changed about 6 times in a row. So I've just brought in baby Sarah, and she'll obviously stay a bit more still for you and just make this training a little bit easier. So what I'm going to get you to do now is I will do a nappy change procedure for you, so you can watch. We'll go through the steps, and then you can all have a go for yourselves. If you want to do it together and watch each other first, that's absolutely fine. And then secondly, we'll do just one in your own, just so I can watch. Don't worry if you miss a step or do something. This is training. You get to have another go at it. This is the whole point. You're not meant to know straight away exactly how to do it. And if you don't take a glove off, obviously there isn't actually any feces, so there's no way we can spread any germs into the centre. So I am. Obviously Sarah is quite small, so the nappies are going to be a little bit large on her, but and we're going to class her as like a 6-month-old baby, so she won't be walking over to the sink to wash her hands, so we will be doing it for her on the change mat. And I obviously probably won't be walking her up the stairs. But what I might do is throughout the training is I might say that Sarah is 1.5 or she's 2 and she's started walking, so you can use the stairs and the sink just to get a bit of practice at that. Okay, do you all want to follow me over to the change table? I'm going to actually put the, just to make sure we don't leave Sarah on the change on her own.
Yes. That's what I thought. I'm not sure.
You don't need children. It's maybe doing shapes. Okay, so
I'm just going to place Sarah on the change mat. I'm going to put the changing and nappy lots of germs just on here so you all have it as a reference. So feel free to read it throughout. This is in all of your rooms anyway. So this is going to be, let's make sure it doesn't fall on Sarah's head. So first, I have got Sarah on the change table. Sorry, I should have washed my hands and placed the paper down before I put Sarah on, so I will do that. Sorry, Sarah. Rushing ahead of ourselves. And put your gloves on. So obviously making sure that Sarah's secure at all times. So now we need to obviously remove her nappy, so we'll just take her trousers off. And then we'll just unzip the nappy. So obviously the plastic bit should rip off first. There we go. And then we'll just make sure the bin was open. Put it into the hands-free bin, and then we'll just get some wipes. Always make sure you've got hands in it. Give her a little wipe down from front to back. Put that in the hands-free bin. And also, remove the paper. These people will also make sure you're peeling them backwards. And put the nappy back inside. So throughout you can have a little chat to Sarah if you want. I know it's a bit unusual because she's obviously a baby doll and she's not going to give you any communication back. So there we are. Not too bad. I don't think the trousers are going to go very well, but she yeah, so make sure they're dressed properly, and obviously they haven't got tops tucked into pants and baby grows over the top of trousers, and there we are. So dress the child. So now we need to wash your hands. This is a bit, just take a baby wipe, give her hands a bit of a wipe. Normally if they're a bit older they like to do it themselves anyway, but just make sure it's done thoroughly, and they're not going to start washing their face with it as well. Give them another wipe if they want to wash their face. Put that into the bin. And we'll just take her away from the change table, and I'll go and engage her in another activity. So is there anyone to go first?
yes.
Oh, sorry, I have to change the table. So somebody might look in after Sarah while I just while I clean the table down.
Oh.
So this is the water and this is detergent. Sorry, word not use spray. Just take some towel and wash it down. And put that into the bin. And then I'll go here and wash my hands. The soap dispenser's just here. Make sure you know your back of your hands and your fingers.
Oh, you can make so nice.
And there's a hand towel. You can either use the paper towels or you can use the hand towel. This is quite high up, so they are quite tall, so you can reach it.
I'm not tall. More than I was. Don't say you're not tall.
Oh. Would you like to go first? Since you're holding it,
It's true.
So Sarah is 6 months old for you, so take it how you like.
Could you hold on one
Of course. So if you want to go through with why Rich was changing the data Sarah, if you want to give her any help, like any reminders, if you're reading the sheet while she's going to care for Sarah.
Oh, that's it.
She's doing much better than me already. She's already learned to wash her hands, so that's great practice. It doesn't. If you know they've got a poo, I would advise 2 over 1. It's completely up to your discretion.
Right.
So we know. I know everyone's watching you, so it's very good. Don't worry. Yeah, getting gloves on once you've washed your hands is always a little bit. You do Sarah back.
Here.
I'm supposed to stand to the side. No, feel free to hold the doors.
Oh.
Oh,
So it's up to you. You can either fully take her trousers off, if it's especially if it's just a U-ring one, you can just leave them at the ankles. That is a good trick.
Are we allowed to do that?
You can do that.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Sorry.
Excellent. So obviously the sticky pads go at the back and then you fold them and stick them to the front. I know you've all changed a few before, so I didn't particularly go through that with you, but just as a reminder. Because these nappies don't say front and back, and few of them do say front and back. Excellent. Sarah looks very happy there. Nice clean bottom.
Just don't want you to fail.
You can't tell, don't worry.
Oh, my hands are dirty. I don't want to wash it.
So it doesn't matter if you forget a few little steps, because the more you practice it, the more you're going to get used to doing them anyway.
It's a little bit embarrassing too. Oh, hi Sarah. Oh, thanks.
Well done, just
Not
look
me
in.
though. You don't have to say anything.
Sorry girls, I know you didn't see that bit, but Rachel actually bites and picked up disinfectant, but before she sprayed it, she actually looked at the bottle to see what it was, and also realised and put it back down. So excellent. Well done, Rachel.
I'm gonna go bed as Oh no, I'm gonna do my bed. I just want to do that one today. I'm spread using my split up with some corn, but I'm not running to it because
How's baby Sarah doing there, Grace?
she was snug.
Good.
Very
Getting ready for just getting ready for another one.
brewing in here. Sarah. Gosh.
Brilliant. Well done. Just before Grace starts, obviously with there being a lot of children in the rooms, you might forget who you have changed and who you haven't. I know in a lot of rooms they have, it should just be, which is perfect, a nappy changing sheet. So this has all the children's names on throughout the day, and obviously the different change. It just says first change, second change, because obviously there's designated times for each room. Thank you. Picking up the resources, well done. Yeah, so make sure the children's day you write their nappy, and it's always W for wet, and I know you put BM for bowel movement, and just the time. So then if someone else comes along, or you're halfway through a nappy change, and you're thinking, did I change Sarah? Looking at them, especially if they've been changed a couple of times in the day, and it's getting later on in the evening, you'll know if they've been changed or not. So we're making sure they're changing their nappies every 3 hours. Would you like to take
Yes.
So Sarah is actually now 1.5. So Sarah can walk.
She can walk?
So obviously she won't be able to properly walk up the stairs, but if you wanted to try and walk her up the stairs, if you wanted to have maybe
I just need to wash my hands and
that's
put the
fine.
towel down first, so.
Good remembering, Grace. I was all trying to
Thank
get
you.
you out there.
Thanks, I know. Well, that.
So far Sarah's been very safe on that happy change. Very confident in your abilities. I'm very nervous with baby Sarah.
I don't want to like this.
I am giving it a close.
So obviously, I said we'd go through a few more hazards while we're in here. Obviously, tripping hazards. So I just moved that chair in, because if Grace stood backwards, she might have fallen backwards over the chair. So just making sure your area is safe when you're nappy changing. Obviously, the children will be bringing toys over and things all the time, so just keeping an eye, obviously, on the child, and you need 14 eyes in childcare, so on the floor and around the sides. And
Sarah, let's give this a crack.
oh, well, then locking it in, making sure it's safe. She's a very small 1.5-year-old, I know, but
Sarah, we need just
No, don't start doing that, Sarah.
Oh,
Wait,
Sarah,
wait for
please.
Grace.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
that's it, just aiding the child up the stairs.
Oh.
So quite a lot of them will like to crawl up to it, as long as you are keeping them safe on there. It doesn't matter if you're not holding their hands, or so they're using their hands to
Yes.
stay.
And you prefer this to be back in?
Well, obviously, yes.
Yes.
It would be preferable if you put the stairs back in.
There you go. That's nice and secure.
Otherwise you haven't got like a hold on Sarah in case she just decides to start having a bit of a scream or a wiggle.
Oh, true. True.
Girls do want to make sure she's...
What about if you need to put cream on them?
If you need to put cream on them, you do that obviously before you take them. Sorry, as soon as you've taken your gloves off, you put a new glove on and you only dip in the cream once. So you're not dipping, spreading, that's spreading infection. That's a really good question. So a lot of children will get sore, so cream is excellent. And then put the gloves in the bin and then carry on.
Do you need to wash your hands in between?
In between interchange gloves and the gloves. It would be best practice if you do them.
No, it's alright.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
So obviously Grace didn't have the bin open, that's why she needs to go over and open the bin. It's absolutely
Oh,
fine. No,
yes.
fine. So we're just doing this as we're practicing.
This
This is what it's all about.
So hard going on, Rachel. Yeah, I'm not sure if she wants to go and wash her hands herself.
You can ask her. Why don't you
Would
ask
you
her?
like to wash your hands, Sarah? No. Okay. We'll just wash your hands.
Maybe she. Maybe she can use.
Sometimes she changes her
That's true,
mind.
yeah.
Maybe she can use the wet wipe herself.
That's right. Oh, Sarah, you want it
That's
in
an
there?
easy one.
So do they walk back down the stairs then?
It's completely. I tend to ask the child, or and then obviously I assist them down, or they can just be she plays like that and put somewhere to engage back and play with. So it's up to Sarah. Would she like to walk back down the stairs?
No.
Or would you like to
Just
pick
gonna-
It is obviously easier if you can pick the child up and put them back to somewhere to play. Because if you're having to take the stairs out, put this down, and then handle them back, they might get a bit excited because you rush down before that.
Disinfectant? Oh,
Okay, that's the correct one. Well done, don't doubt yourself, you've got it.
just needed to read.
Okay, it's always going to be there anyway, so if you ever have a moment of I can't remember what to do,
Fantastic.
you're all doing a very good job.
Thank you.
Maybe Sarah's very looked after.
Yeah, she's 1.5
now, yeah.
She's 1.5 now.
You should always, I heard, hold the baby in front because on the side it's not good for your own self.
Oh. Oh, really?
Right, lucky last. Do you feel okay?
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Like this, you've already started well.
Stop
You've
that.
already
That's
started very
all
well.
holding her. That was you like.
You can put your hands before you get the soap.
You are meant to apply the soap to your hands, allow the soap and rub together.
But you have to wet your hands first.
Yes, sorry. Yeah. How's Sarah doing over there, girls? She's good, very calm. Yeah. I think she might have done a soiled one for poor Sonia.
She's on today.
Sorry, Sonia. And she might have actually just got it up her back as well, so we might have to remove some clothing. So I'll show you where
Yes, the bags.
some bags. I'll get you the bags. Sorry.
I bet she's going to be really sore from this as well.
Oh, I think you'll have to put some cream.
It might be good, girls, I think you should obviously have Sonia with the cream as well. So the cream, Sonia, is just here. So obviously you'll check with every, with the room leader and with the other members of staff. If any children may be allergic to the cream, if they have their own special creams, they should be
So
labelled.
they do have their own special creams. sometimes?
Yes, they do, because some children have quite sensitive skin, and obviously this is quite a sensitive generic brand, but some children still tend to be a bit too sensitive to it. So I'll give you this bag. So this bag you will use to put her soils. It's just a top, she hasn't got anything on her leggings. It's just gone a little bit up her back, so it's not too bad, so this should be covered with the thing, but make sure you do take the top off and make sure she's wiped down. Sorry to give you the hard one. Yeah, that's what I say, those you can all help together. I'm going to put the soil bag in here so you can't spread any germs anywhere else. This is... Oh, good, well done, good practice, Rachel. Yeah, put it in that, yeah. And also you pull it down, try to stir it as much as possible. You've got solid off. Excellent. It's quite clean, it's okay, it's just got a little bit of cushions and stuff in it.
Sweet down.
Excellent. So before you start doing that, obviously put it on the top, it's going to go back on. And I would take her top back off.
It's alright, you do well.
And it's just through the hands. Sorry, so it's a bit harder than that. Obviously, make sure the child's not wiggling. So just tell the child obviously what you're doing throughout when you're doing this. You don't have to tell Sarah now, I'm just letting you know. Just because that might be their favourite t-shirt, and if you're taking that off them, they might become distressed. So as long as you're talking to the child and letting them know exactly what's going on. Perfect.
I'll just check on her back.
Oh, that's great.
She's good, yeah.
Well done, perfect. So to know to peel your gloves back over it. Excellent.
How old is your child? Are you going to take yours to school?
I didn't check how old they were.
That's okay, it's the same age, it's still 1.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You guys.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. I think all this kind of sense.
Yeah. The gloves thing. So just spread it on just where it's sort, and obviously still letting the child know what you're doing throughout.
I'm putting some cream on. It look a little bit sore, so I just like put some cream on that.
You'll find quite a lot of children's masks putting in even when they're not sore. It's just be like, oh, we're not sore today, we don't need cream unless they're desperate. Perfect. So obviously, you would know that Sarah's had the poo at the back, and another team member would have got you a new t-shirt for Sarah. So we'll just get, so you have to put the clean